On Wonderwins presents ESPNcricinfo Fantasy Pick. Delhi Capitals on the Sunrisers Hyderabad play the 50th match of this year's IPL. Let's go ahead and build our fantasy team then. With Dan Vettori, I've got a delicious question because David Warner's coming up against the Sunrisers for the first time after that, well, rather bitter ending last season. Is he someone that's expected to go big and therefore should be in a high position in your fantasy team, or are you not going to take that risk?
No, I definitely would. I think, and it's probably irrelevant who's playing. I just think he's one of the keys for for Delhi to get through to the semi-finals. So I think you'll see him at his best because he's such a good player, and they need him at this stage.
You still haven't got used to David Warner in Delhi colours. Still think of him as?
Well, he said the second stint with Delhi. We should remember that.
Okay, fair enough. Dan still has memories from 2016 of David Warner, so perhaps that's in play here. Before I go to our team and see where Warner stands in it, let's remind you on Wonderwins, 100 credits for you to build your fantasy team. 4 categories of players to choose from: batters, bowlers, wicket-keepers, all-rounders. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in any given contest. Every player's individual credit value is listed on Wonderwins. Going to our team, our top pick is Kuldeep Yadav. He's going to be captain choice, I think, for the first time in our recommended fantasy videos here on Wonderwins Presents, ESPNcricinfo Fantasy Pick. He has, of course, won 3 Player of the Match awards this season, all 3 at the Brabham Stadium, where this game is taking place, and his 17 wickets keep him in the race for the purple cap. Vice captain choice is David Warner, so he features quite high on our priority list in our fantasy team. Delhi's leading run scorer this season, in spite of having missed the first few games, tells you the sort of impact and form Warner has to this team. Captains give you double the points, vice captains 1.5 times the points. We've gone for Kuldeep and Warner. ABHISHEK, SHARMA and T. Natarajan, 2 Sunrisers Hyderabad boys that round off our top picks. ABHISHEK's been in terrific form, a real revelation this season. Saw him even take down Rashid Khan. Tells you where he stands in his game and confidence at the moment. And Natarajan, their leading wicket taker. He's got 17 wickets in 9 outings at a strike rate of 12.3. So he is the joint second leading wicket taker this season in the IPL. Top picks then: Kuldeep Yadav, David Warner, ABHISHEK Sharma, T. Natarajan. Kuldeep is captain. What do you make of that?
I'll go for the low-hanging fruit and say if he bowls full overs. I mean, that's the key. I mean, he has been so impressive this year. The fact that he's bounced back from where he'd been with KKR the last couple of years, and his bowling has been fantastic. So look for that to continue, particularly at Brabham.
All right. How about Mitchell Marsh and Shardul Thakur as your differential picks? We saw the best of Marsh, nearly what we saw in the final of the World Cup against New Zealand in the last game. Didn't eventually lead to victory again for Delhi Capitals against Lucknow, but we can see an improved performance perhaps at the back of that innings. Shardul Thakur too, he's been on and off, can get you points with bat and ball on his good days, did get all the wickets that fell in the Lucknow innings the other day. And let's look at our full team. Rishabh Pant is there as a keeper option. David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Rahul Tripathi and Prithvi Shaw. ABHISHEK Sharma and Aiden Markram in the all-rounder category. Kuldeep Yadav, Shardul Thakur, Natarajan and Umran Malik. What do you make of that team? Solid? Anything else? Any other names you'd like to throw in?
You always have to look at Kane Williamson and see if he can bounce back from some indifferent form. He looked pretty good in the last game, but overall I think that's rewarding the players who have succeeded so far.
All right, happy with that then is Dan Vettori. See if you can find room for Kane Williamson. If not, that looks a pretty solid fantasy team. If you're not happy though with what your eventual 11 is looking like, just change it up at halftime on Wonderwins. You could do that. We'll be back with plenty more on Wonderwins Presents ESPNcricinfo Fantasy Pick.